Pastor Brian from Summit Church here. I want to share something really cool that happened at the ladies' Christmas tea that has relevance for something happening at church this Sunday. Well, what happened 2 Saturdays ago at the tea and how it ties into this coming Sunday is the topic for this week's edition of Wednesday's Words with Pastor Brian. Melanie Palmer came up to me the day after the ladies' tea, and she was all excited and said she had something really encouraging to share with me. Now, I know some of you watching this were there. Apparently, the speaker wanted to get a feel for who was in the room, so she asked the crowd, how many of you came with your mother? And some folks raised their hands, and she asked, how many of you came with your daughter? And some other folks raised their hand, and she did this a couple more times with other connections, and then she asked, how many came with a neighbor? Now, Melanie told me almost half the room raised their hands. And I have to tell you, as pastor at Summit Church, I thought this was awesome. I think I went like this and so I wanted to do the high five thing when Melanie told me. You've heard me say that the purpose of some events is to provide an easy way to invite others to come check out Summit Church. And it looks like the ladies not only caught that vision, but acted on it by bringing visitors to the tea. Now, I know some of those folks already go to another church, and that's fine. The big win, the thing I want to celebrate, is that people from Summit are inviting others. Now, that's where this Sunday comes in. There will be a photo booth at church this Sunday. We've already announced that, and part of the lobby will be marked off for that purpose. We'll have a volunteer there to take a photo of your family using your own cell phone, so you've got it. What we want you to do is take one more photo with this sign. Let me hold it up here. Looks like this, and as you can see, it has all the info about our Christmas Eve candlelight services. We want you to take a photo with somebody holding this sign in your family, and then we want you to post that photo onto your social media accounts, both Facebook and Instagram, or you can share it with others directly to invite them to come celebrate Christmas at Summit Church. Now, in addition to the photo booth, we also have some of these business card-sized invitations. These have been available in the lobby at church the last 2 weeks, and they obviously won't do us any good after Christmas. So we're taking every one that's left, and we're clipping them to the bulletin this Sunday. You'll probably get one when you come to church this week. We hope you will use them to invite others to come. Just hand it to them. It's got all the info about Christmas Eve on there. Also has a QR code to our website, so if they find it afterwards, they can still get stuff about our church. I read a report just last month that said 80% of people say they would come to church if someone invited them. Think about that. 80% of people would come if they were simply invited. I think one of the main inhibitors to inviting others is our fear of rejection. We're afraid that if we invite them, they will say no, and that kind of hurts. And then we're afraid that the invitation itself might affect our friendship, so we just don't say anything. But if 80% of people say they'd come if they were invited, that means rejection isn't the most likely outcome. In fact, it's way more likely they'll accept the invitation than reject it. And I think that's a perspective we need to adopt. The perspective should be that my invitation has an 80% expectation of success. I invited someone to come to the Fall Family Fun Night. They didn't come that night because they already had something planned for their family. But when I saw them the following week, they asked me how it went. And I told them it was awesome, that we had a lot of families come. The kids all got a bunch of full-size candy bars. And it sounds like the thing they went to was kind of a bust, and they wished they had come to Fall Family Fun Night. So while my invitation didn't result in someone coming to Fall Family Fun Night, I have to say my experience was consistent with that statistic, that 80% would come if invited. The invitation was received positively. We want to build a culture of invitation at Summit Church, a culture where inviting others to come is just a natural part of who we are and what we do. I'm seeing evidence of that already happening, like what's happening at the ladies' tea. I hope it continues this week with the photo booth and with the invitation cards. Christmas is a natural time for that to happen. I encourage you to take advantage of the opportunities we're providing this Sunday to invite others to come to Summit Church.